Yeah.
With a message for my people.
Nick Dad, baby. We the new label.
Yeah. Now this the black sheep sticking its home. I need a crib like I'm Gatsby.
I need it
in hand, just understand my
Pockets that deep.
with nothing to prove. I ain't got nothing to do. When they can't compete and I got nothing to
Yes, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to Veterans Minimum, the number one sports betting vibe on the internet. Number 26 on the best sports betting shows. I'm having
In
trouble
the planet.
adjusting
No.
over here. On the planet,
There we
baby.
go.
Veterans Minimum, all things Veterans Minimum are at Veterans Minimum. Support the show on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Patreon.
Do it.
I hit all of them, right?
You hit all of them.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Yeah,
George
brother.
Carmona in the building as well.
Off to the left. Yes, sir, dude. It's Jersey Day at the office.
Yeah, man. Let's
I'm
get a
rocking the
close-ups
Rangers.
here. This is the F, dude. This is vintage. This
Yeah.
is it cost me $300.
Woo.
It costs way more than that, but shout out to the Wrestling Classic, Lie, Cheat, and Steal. We were able to
Finagle
maneuver
your way.
Yeah, finagle's a good word. Yeah,
Yeah.
we were able to do a couple of nice things, and yeah, we got a little hookup.
I like it. And the back it says Wrestlemania 2000, and Wrestlemania was this weekend here in Vegas.
It was crazy. A lot of people, a lot of wrestling fans, a lot of weird wrestling fans.
That's my favorite part of the wrestling culture is when you go to those wrestling events, you see individuals that are just the incel community of the world. They're smelly. They have a look to them that all they know is wrestling, you know, and it kind of gives fans like you a bad rap because people will be like, well, Nick loves wrestling. But I think that you have to explain to people there's levels to wrestling fandom. I would say you're a fan, but you're not like those fans that you're talking about.
Yeah, I never was those kind of fans, like ever. You know, like the whole. And we were talking about this before we started recording. I don't know if jaded is the right word, but I'm kind of immune now to celebrities and athletes and influencers, just being around them so often here in the studio and just like what we do for a living and the field that we indulge in. I will say that I think to this day, the only person I really want to meet is Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'd probably lose my shit and be one of those wrestling fans if it happened.
Yeah.
So I've already been putting it out in the atmosphere that, you know, it's probably going to happen one day. And if I act out of line, just know I've already warned people that this might be the case. But yeah, it was interesting, man, because shouts to Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford from the Street Profits. We had them on It Is What It Is, and I helped put that together. And then we had Bianca Belair on Treasure's show. Check out the stat. And it was cool because I got to link up with Angelo Dawkins last night after Mania Night 2. We were just hanging out at the bar. And I was able to just see how people interact around wrestlers, like the fans. Man, it's not just them, like even the athletes that come by the studio too. I've realized from experience, bro, when you treat them regular, they appreciate it more and they remember it more.
Correct.
Than if you like start with the photos. Like imagine when I first met Cameron, if I was just like, yo, bro, picture, selfie, tagging, and I don't think things would transpire the way they have for me.
Correct.
So it's like keeping your cool, keeping your composure. And I get it. Sometimes it's a once in a lifetime moment that you're going to walk by someone or meet someone.
Yeah.
But I think there's an etiquette to it. Do you think?
Agreed. Yeah. You want to also soak in the moment. Just to highlight one of my favorite events in golf, the Masters, they take the phones away. And that always sparks the debate. Should sporting events not have phones just because people are enjoying the moment more? But the same goes for when you meet somebody who is your idol, whether it be an athlete or a movie star. Be yourself. And it honestly, like in a world filled with people running up with their cell phones in their hands, you are unique, you know? And that's what I feel you always have to look to be in certain situations is how am I unique different than all these other people that are doing the same thing. And, you know, I think with the wrestling fans, and I mean, I wasn't there at the bar, I'm just kind of speaking out of my ass, but it's kind of like a, what is that? The herd mentality, where, you know, they see one person do it, and then that's everybody's go-to, right? Like, they've laid out the path, like, oh shit, all I need to do is just walk up to who are you, Dawkins, and just snag a photo without even asking him. Like, it's on some weird shit too, because like, why would you do that? If somebody did that to you, you would probably like lose your mind.
And also, you know what, the other thing that I've realized being around celebrities and athletes often is they say no to everyone, because if they say yeah to one person, then it's like, well, why'd you let George take a photo? Why can't I? Mm-hmm. And, you know, over the weekend, we also had the Bella twins here in the studio, and there were like little kids outside there. It's like, yo, if it's a kid, bro, I'm cool with it. Like, you should stop for a kid.
Right.
But what happens sometimes, especially with the wrestling community, they feed the kids to the wrestlers. It's like, you're not going to say no to a 7-year-old.
Right.
But it's really for the dad. And that shit is cringe, bro.
Yeah. Little, like, it's like an anchor baby. You know what an anchor baby is?
No.
It's like when people from Mexico come across to have a child, so then that way they can get their citizenship.
Huh.
This is definitely a version of it, you know, with just...
Yeah, you plant the kid in order to get the autograph, because, like, you're not going to be a shitty person to a 7-year-old.
Correct.
Yeah. Dude, can I tell you, have I ever told you the Hakeem Nicks story?
No.
With the autographs?
Uh-uh.
Oh, my God, this is a classic. So Hakeem Nicks used to play for the New York Giants. This is the year after they won the Super Bowl. And we went out to New Jersey. My friend Joe, at the time, was doing this event. He was hosting this event, and like Hakeem Nicks was there, Ahmad Bradshaw, and like one other player. I can't remember who it was on the Giants, but this is like 2012 New York Giants. And Ahmad Bradshaw, high as shit, dope as fuck. Matt Cool was like talking with us, like telling, I was like, yo, bro, when you know, sat on your ass at the 1 yard line, like, he's like, yo, Eli telling me not to score, but bro, I was in the Super Bowl. I wasn't not going to score. In my head, I'm like, did you have any time touchdown score over there, brother? You know what I'm saying? But he's over there dope as hell. And then I remember it was a defensive player. I don't remember who, but it was a defensive player. And then Hakeem Nicks was there. But Hakeem Nicks was like on the marquee. Now remember, Hakeem Nicks at the time was like the man. He was dope as fuck. And dude, his agent was there, and like he was signing, and then he hit like his number and stopped. Ooh. And like we waited till the end to like take pictures with all of them and whatnot. Wouldn't even take a picture with us. Wouldn't sign anything for us. And I remember there was like an 8-year-old kid that had the jersey on and all that. And like he wouldn't sign for the kid. And I remember just being like, yo, bro, fuck me, dude. I was what, 21, 22? I was like, yo, fuck me, bro. Like, but like for the kid, you ain't gonna do it for the kid? And I forgot what he said, but he was mad dismissive of it. And then his boy that was there was like, yo, he hit his number and that's what he got paid to do. And then he bounced. And I was like, man. I was like, bro, if I ever get popping where like people want a photo or autograph with me, if it's like a little kid, you gotta do it. If it's someone my age, like a 34-year-old, I'd be like, yo, bro, I got shit to do, or like, not right now.
Yeah.
My bad, bro. I'm not in the mood.
Well, this is an event for it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the most.
And that's the other thing. You were at something that required you to take photos and sign fucking autographs. Now, mind you, 2012, bro, there's some old head shit now, but like, the autographs still mattered. When's the last time you asked someone for an autograph, dude? And you've been around like fucking baseball players, hockey players,
I'm gonna be honest. The only time I've asked for it in the last 10 years has been when an author gives me their book, and it's like a prestigious author, right? So like Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, which I'm pretty sure you've seen. He came into the studio one day, gave me a copy, and I was like, yeah, like sign the copy. Like, I need proof that I met the author.
Right.
You know what I mean? But with an autograph, bro, no, it's not important anymore. It's not. We live in the day and age, bro, where it would be cool to wear an autographed jersey. When I feel like 25-ish years ago, that's like never going to happen. You get the autograph, you get it fucking in a glass shadow box, and it stays in your parents' living room forever. Nowadays, it's let's pop that out of the shadow box. I'm going to the baseball game tonight type of situation. That's weird. But anyways, I want to just tag along to the story because, why in the world did he stay at the event? So like you could see him, you saw that he wasn't taking anymore, but he was just there. Or did he leave?
No, he got up to like leave once he hit like, let's just say 100. It wasn't 100, but let's just say it was 100.
Right.
And he was like, yo, my day's done.
Damn.
Yeah. And like I was saying, bro,
That's wild.
Dude, me and Isaiah talk about this all the time. We would have OJ Simpson call in on It Is What It Is every week. And, very polarizing figure. But Isaiah and I would talk to him like 20, 30 minutes a week, bro. Isaiah and him in the control room would fucking talk all the time. Like they had California ties and shit, and they were just like always talking. OJ Simpson thought that I went to Buffalo because I was not Buffalo. He thought I was a Bills fan. I told him I went to Buffalo, and every week he'd be like, yo, the Bills, this is when we did the Dear Buffalo thing. And I told him, I was like, yo, Juice, I made this bet on Buffalo if they win now, yada, yada. So I remember telling, like, this is before we knew that he was sick and whatnot. I was like, yo, it'd be the hardest autograph of all time. Like, this would be a $10 million piece if I had it right now. If I got it on a canvas, the white Bronco, and I had him sign the white Bronco, because he was good friends with Cameron. They would talk all the time. He'd be on the show.
Yeah.
And I remember I told Cam this. He's like, damn, son, that shit would have been hard to have that shit in there.
Yeah. That's one of the things that if you would have gotten it and you would have showed Cam, I think Cam would have said, hey, yo, Nick,
I'm gonna need that.
I'm gonna need that for
well,
you.
I was gonna have him sign, like, get it to be signed for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It may never have made it back to you.
Bro, that would have been, especially now that the Juice passed away, it would have been fucking iconic.
Autographs aren't worth shit until the person is dead.
Yeah.
I'm being honest.
Yeah. No,
even
legit.
though that one's an iconic one, it's true. Like a painter or artist will never know how much he's truly worth until he's long gone.
Yeah. And then when like I post anything about OJ, I get people being like, dude, how dare you type shit. I'm like, listen, bro, he had 2,000 yards in 14 games. That's
yeah. Let's not.
This is when the Bills would win like 3 games and it was fucking engage 8 every single time, and he was hauling.
Yeah, bro.
He was hauling. But autographs, to your point, they're more valuable after the fact. And the last thing I could vividly remember someone signing for me is I had Mason Cam sign these vinyl records that I have at my crib. And one of them I gifted to Dom. Shouts to Dom. Cam is his favorite rapper, so I gave it to him as a gift. Dom's the one that gave me the money to move out here that I was telling you about with the hot honey. Also, him, I was like, yo, I think this would be a dope-ass gift. And Cam was even like, yo, bro, I can't tell you the last time I signed something like that. If it's not a contract.
Bro.
You know what I mean? But the selfie is the new autograph now.
Of course.
Like, without a doubt, it's because, you flex to the gram that you met so-and-so.
Right. But I mean, it all depends. I think a selfie isn't as big of a flex as somebody taking the photo of you and you not having like that hand angle. I feel like the ultimate creme de la creme is somebody takes the photo of you too.
Yes, I couldn't agree with you more, because it's like we both posed for this. You're not caught off guard.
Correct.
This is being established. Bingo.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, ultimate. Okay, never mind. Then there's a level above that. When it's a big event, you're by the person and media is capturing it, and they post it on the website.
It's like a candid.
You just fucking shooting the shit, and a publication picks it up. You get a Getty's image.
Oh, yeah.
Of you courtside with somebody. You were courtside with Floyd. There has to be a picture somewhere of you and Floyd next to each other.
Well, first of all, he was courtside with me. That's number one.
And they didn't run your lower third.
I know.
Which is
How fucking dare they?
Crazy.
I might have been the most dangerous person in that fucking row, being honest. That jiu-jitsu, bro.
Yeah.
You think I'd be able to close the distance on Floyd?
It'd have to be a smaller ring, but I think you could do it. I think you could do it. Good angles.
I think he understands distance so well that he'd be able to fucking pick apart. It won't even matter.
Yeah, but you got to just find a way to get him in a corner and a little dirty boxing. I think you got him.
Fake shoot, single leg.
Bro. Like how Connor did when they fought.
yeah.
Connor got into a corner a couple of times and said, fuck it, bro. I'm throwing your ass.
Fucking underhooks and all that. Yo, let us know in the comments what you guys think. If what's more valuable? Like, if you had the chance, would you prefer an autograph from someone or would you prefer a picture?
Right. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are upset with this.
Yeah.
It kind of leads perfectly into our next segment.
Yeah. Yeah. If you guys saw the title of the episode, it's been going around on social media and it's a cool topic to discuss. And we'll do some NBA stuff at the tail end. But I was excited for this because this is where we get creative. But a couple of NBA guys, a couple of NFL like pros were posting about this, and it was start a fight with this one take. And we have a couple. I asked George to put together a list. It could be sports, it could be life, it could be movies, it could be whatever you want it to be. But George, we're going to start this with every topic. You're going to say starting a fight with this take, and then you say the take.
Okay. Start a fight with this take. Weddings are dumb as fuck. Weddings are the stupidest thing that have ever been created. It was initially meant for rich royalty to have an evening for their soon-to-be royalty, right? And now we've evolved it into these people that can't afford. Mind you, I'm in this fucking bracket. I am engaged forever. We're going on 5 years. This is some Pam and Roy shit if you follow The Office. We're not the Jim and Pam situation. We're the Pam and Roy, all right? So, and by the way, no plan in sight for a wedding, because what I was getting to is there's people that can't afford this, and people are dropping that don't have the money. $15,000 for a single day in which you're going to get the photos. All you really did do is just throw a cool party. By the way, no matter how much you do that's good, everybody leaves a wedding saying, oh, they could have done this better. So, like, no matter how much fucking, if the fucking napkins are to the left, the bows are on the thing, it doesn't matter how nice it is. You could have a fucking virtual reality golfing simulator set up. People will still say the statement, I wish they would have done it like this. I wish that the shrimp cocktail would have came out in a little margarita glass instead of the bowl. Like, it's so stupid, Nick. And everybody that is planning on having a wedding, there's time to get your refund back. There's time. And by the way, if you truly love somebody, you don't need a wedding to prove that you love somebody.
But don't you think it's more of a social experiment than it is really for love?
Yeah, but here's the thing. Why am I going to spend 15 grand on people that are halfway in my life? The most expensive weddings involve those like friends that are on your like outer circle that you would never invite to your home.
Oh yeah.
Why the fuck am I going to entertain those people?
First of all, average cost of a wedding in the United States, $33,000.
Wow, 15,000 was way low balling it.
Yeah, way low balling.
Damn.
And this is per thenot.com.
Interesting.
The #1 wedding budget planning website right now. So there's your source. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I agree. It's never good enough. It's a statement that I like to live my life with. It's
right.
Like, yeah, you know what? No matter what, it's never good enough. No matter what you do, it's just never good enough. And you know what? It's cool, man.
That is true.
It's okay. Listen, it's okay. It's never good enough. You might be a loser, and that's okay. You're a winner to someone. And hopefully one day you could find someone that you could be a loser with, and together you guys maybe could be winners. But I think a lot of it, to your point, now mind you, I'm a single guy, nowhere near close to having someone that's a girlfriend to become a wife.
Right.
I never understood the thoughts of engagement rings, My dad, when he proposed to my mom, had no ring. He was like, "Yo, you cool with this?" And she was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "I bet." That was it. This was the late 1980s. And guess what? They've been together 37 years. So love is love.
Yes.
Right? The idea of not having to invite a lot of people, it gets me stimulated, bro. Because I'm constantly looking to delete people from my life and coming to events. I know I get some invites sometimes for weddings and like family weddings. Even more so when I was living back home, my mom would be like, "Your cousin's getting married." I was like, "Cool, congrats." Like, "Are you coming?" I was like, "No, I'm not coming." "Why? You got to come. They're not going to come to your wedding." I was like, "If I don't come to their wedding, they're not going to mine?" Oh,
Perfect.
no problem. Thank you for making it so much easier for me. Dude, in a perfect world, I find the girl that I want to get married with. I grab my parents. I grab her parents. Who are your 3 closest family relatives? Let's bring them. So we're at 10. Wedding party. I'm probably gonna have a big wedding party. So let's say we have 8 each. All right. So now we're at like 25. You get 10 more each. 50 is the number. It's the people that I associate with on a daily basis or consistently. If I haven't spoke to you, I always say, if you text me and it starts with long time no talk, I'm probably not reading it. Not probably. I'm definitely not reading it. I'll get to it when I can.
Right.
You're not a priority. Have you ever texted me, "Hey man, long time no talk"? No, we talk almost fucking every day.
That'd be wild.
Yeah. 6 out of 7 days a week, we're texting. I never want those texts.
Yeah.
Right? I understand we're busy. You're busy. People are busy. I get it. But if it really matters, you would never need to send that text. You know what I'm saying?
Very true.
So I think weddings are definitely overrated. I have friends that have put themselves in crazy debt to have their dream wedding.
Right.
I'm like, cool, bro. Like if you're really that in love and you want to do it, cool. But what happens when you get divorced? Now you're in debt, then maybe you have another wedding. So now we got to fund that also.
Rachel, who we had on the show a couple of weeks ago, if you haven't listened to the episode, listen to the episode. Going on number 4. This will be wedding number 4. Wow. That's just, it's crazy. Like, it's crazy that you'd want to keep doing the process over again.
I feel like
isn't boyfriend, girlfriend just good enough?
You know, my dad told me one time, he was like, "Yo, bro, you get one out of me." He's like, "Yo, you get one. That's it."
Yeah. Can you imagine if she would have signed up for a membership at a place to have a wedding? This would be the one that's free. This upcoming one would have been the one that's free.
Yeah, you got to give me a hookup, bro. Fucking like $300K in the hole.
Yeah. That's nuts.
Yeah.
So that's my take. Let's start a fight.
Okay. Let's start a fight with this one take. Baseball players are the least athletic of any major sport.
They're pretty athletic, Nick. They're pretty athletic. There's some of them that center fielders.
Okay, bro, listen, you just said some, right? Like there's exceptions. I get that. But like on the whole, if you take everyone, I think they're the least athletic of the major sports.
I like that you said major sports because I was going to toss in sumo wrestling.
No, I'm talking about like, well, listen, the sumo wrestlers, for their size and what they do, they're athletic. But you're standing around a lot. It's not really the most like explosive.
Correct.
The art of hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do in sports. I get that. But like, if a guy throws a no-hitter, you're just chilling the whole time in left field.
Damn, you're right.
I just don't think it's the most athletic sport.
Correct. Yeah. I agree with you now that we've said major and that I can kind of put into perspective that everybody's not a center fielder. It's the only sport where you could eat like comfortably as you're performing the sport. Like in golf, people like golfers will eat from hole to hole, but like they're not eating while hitting a golf ball. These batters are, you know, they got chewing tobacco in obviously, but like the sunflower seed guys, what's another sport where you could eat and perform the sport? So that kind of goes to your point.
Like, yo, look, you have to, the hitting, the fielding, the hand-eye coordinations, sure. But, like, bro, how often are you involved in plays? You get 4 at-bats?
Correct.
And, like,
just put it in a perspective. I would love to see you know how, like, they put the Fitbits on soccer players, and it's like Ronaldo traveled 7.5 miles. Like, what did David Ortiz walking to first base and walking to the batter's box? How many steps is that? How many steps is that? Do you think David Ortiz hit over 2 miles ever in his career? In a game?
2 miles?
I'm saying a mile because, okay,
bro,
like,
I don't think he got, like, unless he got a base hit or a home run,
right?
He didn't get a football field. He just DH'd.
Correct.
Think of Mo Vaughn and Prince Fielder.
True. Yeah, 2 miles was a wild statement. A mile? Did he ever hit a mile in his career? Maybe on like a 3 for 4 night, triple, home run.
And remember we did this segment a while back when ESPN put out that list of the hardest sports to play based on difficulty.
Where did we have baseball? Where was baseball at on that list? Do you remember?
So the top 10 was boxing, hockey, football, basketball, wrestling, martial arts, tennis, gymnastics, baseball, soccer.
Crazy. They put soccer that way.
And, the breakdown was like endurance and strength and power, agility, reflexes, speed.
Right.
Like, that's how they all put it all together. But I'm saying, like, the least athletic people are baseball players.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I still think the hardest sports to play outside of fighting, which I categorize in its own thing, like it's fighting.
Mm-hmm.
It's soccer and hockey, because those two sports, you got to play at a young age. You can't, like, there's a lot of basketball players that started playing basketball when they were like 16 because maybe they were soccer players and then they grew to be 6'10". And it's like, well, you're not going to be a soccer player.
Right.
Or fucking Antonio Gates played basketball his whole career and then became a Hall of Fame tight end. Again, exceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Get it. Jimmy Graham also.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is the 1% of the 1%. But as a whole, I think baseball, it's the least athletic sport. Like, they're athletes combined.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
And then people are like, yo, like, how do you categorize what's an athlete? Is it speed? Is it whatever? It's like,
yeah, I think it's the overwhelming majority of your players, like the weight of Major League Baseball players. Like, they're big Dominicans. Like you get Vlad Guerrero Jr. out there, his lower half is 300 pounds. And, like those are the types that we're talking about here when we say least athletic. And they stick out to you. It's memorable. For a person that was overweight growing up as a kid, seeing a fat athlete, I was like, I could do this.
yeah. Dude, Bartolo Colon.
Oh my God. Bartolo Colon is
on the Mount Rushmore of fat athletes.
Yeah, if not the president. Like, he's what other fat athletes aspire to be. He's the fattest.
The epitome of just swag, bro.
Yeah.
Dude would just hit 99 and then gut hanging out, walking.
And the coolest name ever, Bartolo Colon.
Oh,
it just
yeah.
fucking rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, Met's great. He played for a bunch of teams. But
so unathletic, bro.
Yeah.
Watching him get to the batter's box was fun.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we're getting at here. But there's going to be baseball players out there that are like, that's why we're doing this.
Oh, for sure.
They're going to fight you,
for sure.
Nick.
All right, give me another one.
Okay. Let's start a fight with this take. Fast food restaurants should all be assassinated. And I know that makes no sense. But if you are forced to eat this fast food trash on a nightly basis and you never eat healthy food and then you end up dying because you're fucking riding a rascal at Walmart, that's fast food restaurants' faults. Like, the fact that the American government has let Taco Bell serve this fucking meat paste and us geek out over it, bro. Like, I love Taco Bell.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
they should be assassinated, bro. It's not real meat. It's not real food that they're feeding us. And it's cheap as shit. If you want to eat healthy, it's too expensive is what this take is. But I just wanted to be controversial because all these fat fucks that are listening to this right now saying, well, George doesn't know what he's talking about. What does he mean fast food restaurants should be assassinated? Bro, you gotta just stop eating it for a week and you'll see. And you'll see. It's garbage food that we're fed in America. And has it ever like blown your mind how all these places across the entire country have like stock and inventory to constantly feed everybody all the time? It's because it's fake food. It's not fucking real. Like that, the concept of fucking trillions of burgers everywhere all the time, it's phony.
Yeah. Yo, you know what's crazy? Fast food is always going to be around because it's what you said also, how it's cheap.
Yes.
Right? Like if you're struggling financially, with $20, you could feed like a family of 4.
For a couple of days.
No, like every night, $100 for
you said
the week.
A family of 4.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. And you just get like the 12 tacos at Taco Bell's like $24.
Yeah.
And that could fill, take care of the family type shit.
For sure.
There's nothing I enjoy eating more in the moment than fast food. And the moment that I finish eating and I like wipe my face down and wash my hands, I'm like, that fucking sucked. Every single time.
Every time you finish an Arby's roast beef sandwich, and you're just like, wow, what am I doing? We brought up Wiener Schnitzel, and this doesn't exist in half the country. So if you're listening to a part that doesn't exist, it's Nathan's hot dogs for the West Coast. I mean, they cannot serve this food any cheaper. I think you can get 6 chili cheese dogs for like $4. And honestly, that person who's serving them to you might give them to you for $3 because he knows how fucking garbage this food is. Yeah. It's bad.
Bro,
we're in an epidemic.
Have you ever seen the tuna from Subway?
No. Oh, Nick.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
It looks like cardboard mixed with water, mixed with like cement. It's just it looks like, yeah, that's probably gonna fuck your stomach up. Still have it.
Yeah.
Still have it.
God, bro. God, what are they doing to us, Nick?
Yo, bro, listen, it's a
problem.
It's a problem. It's so available as well. Like almost every shopping center you go into, there's a fast food joint. Literally everywhere.
Bro.
What's your favorite fast food, though, if you had to pick?
I have too many to name. This is how much I love fast food. That's why I hate myself for even saying what I'm saying right now.
Right.
But just imagine if the United States government put a little bit of fucking energy into feeding us decent food. RFK, maybe he'll do it.
And yo, you know what else? Can I tell you a pet peeve of mine?
Yes.
If I go to fast food joints with you and you try to eat healthy.
Oh, Nick, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. These motherfuckers that are ordering like
a chicken salad from McDonald's, you fucking geek.
Bro.
That is horrible, bro.
You have to know going into, and I know this when I order my Wendy's salad. It's like a apple Fuji something. I don't know. It's delicious, right? But I still know at the end of it, it is garbage. And yes, you could not have hit it any more on the nose. I'm trying to think of another somewhat. People that eat protein style burgers at In-N-Out. What are you doing?
If I'm gonna go to fast food spot,
yeah,
all right, I eat pretty clean throughout the week. But if I'm gonna go to In-N-Out or I'm gonna go to Domino's, I'm getting shit. Like I want the nasty. I want fucking animal fries. I want the Whopper. Double patty,
correct,
with the mayo, all this shit. I'm not even into mayo. Like I want it to be like 3,300 calories. You're gonna regret this, but if I'm gonna go crazy, I'm gonna go crazy. It's the reason why, like the occasions that I do drink, I want to drink beer, and I'm gonna have 9 of them
Right.
Oh my God, the calories. Yeah, but I'm going to have something I want to enjoy. I'm not going to do Tito's and soda or tequila and soda. Like, no, bro. If I'm going to indulge in some bad shit,
Right.
I want to at least enjoy it. That's what I'm saying. So when I go to fucking McDonald's with people and they're like, I would like a fucking vegan burger, if they even have that, or like, I want the salad. I'm like, you're a fucking loser, bro.
Yeah.
Let's get the Big Mac, jumbo fries. We'll go to Wendy's to get the Frosty also. Let's get creative.
Correct.
A McFlurry. Like, shit.
Yes.
And I judge.
And because listen to the beginning. If you are still too fat to understand what we've said for the last 15 minutes, I highly recommend you go back and you listen to it again. Okay? Even if they are serving what is supposed to be healthy food, it's shit imaginary food.
Yeah.
And they should be abolished.
And you know what's crazy? When you hear stories of like these athletes, like Jamar Chase recently came out and said that he does the Ocho Cinco diet, or like he would just eat McDonald's and all that. You also got to understand that these are professional athletes that are probably burning. It's
Correct.
like Floyd Mayweather, right? He would always drink a soda, like a liter of soda after his workout. And it's like, yeah, he just hit a heavy bag for 147 straight hours. Of course he can have it. Like, me, for example, right? On Fridays, I do a double at jiu-jitsu. All right, so I go at 10 a.m. to 11:30, and it's called Fight for Your Life Fridays. It's literally like, yo, warm up. All right, 5-minute stretch, rounds the rest of the fucking. So you do like 12 to 15 fucking sparring sessions.
Nuts.
When I go to get lunch with Jerry or Shane or the guys from the gym, I'm like, bro, let's get Taco Bell. Because then I'm going again at night and doing the same shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I'm not going to have a Caesar salad with
Yeah.
fucking avocado. Like, no, I want pizza, bro. I want a fucking carb. I want pasta. I want the nasty shit because I'm putting in the work. I'm not doing that every day.
Correct.
Because I'm not training as hard as I am on that particular day. Does that make sense what I'm saying to you?
Of course.
So it's the same exact thing when you hear these stories of like, well, Chad Ochocinco eats McDonald's all day and look at him. Yeah, look at him.
Yeah.
He's a number one wide receiver, all decade team. He's a professional athlete. He's working out 3 times a day.
Yeah.
He can afford
Bro,
to do it.
You know what? This is the perfect, like we're explaining that meme that everybody's been posting lately where it's like Donald Trump 6'3", 240.
And then Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry 6'3", 240,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
This is a conversation.
Yeah.
This is a convo. Hit me with another one.
Start a fight with this one take. Drivers are not athletes.
I love this. I drive every day.
Yeah. You're not an athlete.
No, I am. I guess if they want to consider themselves athletes,
Yeah. So
what's hard about it?
So here's the thing, right? Like the speed is out of control, and I get it. They're doing 200 miles per hour on a turn and all that, and it's like split millisecond craziness, and people have died racing Formula One and NASCAR, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but when I think of athlete, I think of a physical activity, and I think of a ball and an objective and trying to score. Drivers are not athletes. They're drivers.
Correct.
So you're a driver. You're not an athlete. It's
Correct.
its own genre. It's its own field. So when I see things like Athlete of the Year, Max Verstappen, I'm like, that's fucking lame. He's not an athlete.
No.
So drivers are not athletes. They are drivers. It's its own genre. That's where you could be the best driver in the world. Cool. I'm cool with that. Well, I'm not putting you in the fucking bracket with Cristiano Ronaldo, Pat Mahomes, and fucking LeBron.
Yeah.
It's a different tier. It's like, have you ever heard when they're like, Joey Chestnut is an athlete? Competitive eaters?
Yeah.
You're not an athlete, bro.
It's not the same. I would almost consider those guys what they do maybe a little more athletic than what some drivers do. Because now you're making me think back to the whole baseball thing where it's like, damn, are drivers really the most unathletic athletes? But if we're eliminating them, then baseball stays where it's at. Drivers are drivers. But it would fall into this category if you see drivers that are just hosses of individuals, you know? And I know not all of them, right? The good ones, they're skinny because, you know, every pound matters or whatever when they're flying around in these cars. But like some of these other guys that are, now if we're going to open up the genre into like the NASCAR things that you see in mud and like the Baja races and shit, those are some bros.
Yeah.
You know, like they know how to have a good time on the weekend. They frequent fast food establishments. But I'm with you. What's the fastest you've ever gone in a car?
The fastest I've ever gone in a car with me behind the wheel is 140 miles per hour.
Nice.
I was on a straightaway with my uncle, who's a NYPD police officer, my Uncle Mike, and my dad was in the car.
Sick.
And it was like noon, no one on the road, 3 lanes. And they were like, yo, step on it. And I was 19. We had a 2007 Mercedes, like C280. And I didn't like it.
Oh, it's intense.
I don't like it. And it was one of those where, like, I kind of learned the lesson while doing it.
Yeah.
Which is funny because then I ended up getting disqualified by Nassau County Police when I wanted to be a cop because I did a 70 and a 55 in the work van. So I was considered a reckless driver.
Oh, my God.
And, like, I am so not a reckless driver at all. I go speed limit and I go about 9 miles past. 9, you're fine. 10, you're mine. That's what my uncle would say when he would pull people over as a NYPD cop. So I went 140. I've been in a car, bro, and this is a fun conversation to have. Well, catch what I'm saying before I go. I was in a car where someone went 175, and I was so fucked up in the back seat when I was in college that it knocked me sober. Like, it's,
oh my God.
Like, they were going 75 miles per hour. I was in Buffalo, and I was so fucked up in the back seat, dude. I'm getting chills now. I'm thinking about this. That when I looked at the speedometer, it was like one of those digital ones, and this was like when like digital first. It said 175. I just remember being like, "Yo, slow down, pull over, dude." I got out the car and I took a cab to go home.
God.
And I was like, "Yo, I'm never getting in a car with someone." Like, and they weren't drunk, but they just wanted to like
get going.
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah. Oh, well, probably even like you have fucked up people in your car. You know, you can like pull a joke on it, or what they think is a joke. 175 is nuts. At
175 is dude. 140 is crazy.
Correct. Let's just not. Yeah, we're just saying these drivers aren't athletes. What they do is pretty impressive, but not athletic.
Yo, have you real quick? Have you ever had a moment where you were like fucking wild intoxicated and then something happened and it knocked you sober? Because I used to think that wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Until it happened to me. Mm-hmm. And that was one of them.
We were on, I was on probably fucking 5 grams of mushrooms walking down a beach with my friend, and Cameron was there and his girlfriend, and we were all walking and we were just absolutely peaking, right? And then we open up our bag. And as we're on a hike, right? We went maybe 2 miles away. We open up our bag, 0 water. I went from, whoa, to fucking, I got to find water right now or else I'm going to die. And that right there is a similar equation to what you're discussing, where it's, there's like certain necessities. Your life was at danger. Dude, we're on the beach 2 miles away from anybody and we had no water. And we were super fucked up. Like when your life's in danger, you can sober up in a heartbeat. So that's a moment.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah. What that's terrifying.
Now, I wonder though if it's different for like if you're tripping as opposed to being like drunk.
No, I mean, because here's the thing. At the end of the day, any drug that you do, there's the surrendering, right? So like even if you're drunk, you can fight being that super drunk feeling, right? Like there's a moment when you're drinking beers and you're like, oh, I'm chilling.
Yeah.
Same with mushrooms where it's like, you can fight it, you know, like, oh, I'm not tripping. You know, all those people always say, well, no, I didn't feel anything.
Yeah.
Well, it's because you had a fucking stick up your ass.
Yeah.
And you're
mad cool, bro.
You were expecting a fucking, you know, I don't know, explosion to go off.
Yeah. I used to like when I was, even till now, you know how like some people drink and they're like, I'm not fucked up, like to be cool. All my friends used to be like, yo, bro, you were the man. Cause you'd be like, yo, I'm pretty hammered right now. Like just why fight it, dude?
That's the thing.
Like why fight it? And especially me, like I was such a happy drunk, you know?
Yeah.
So it's way different as opposed to the people that drink and you're like, oh my God. Like, I have a friend, love him to death. I hate going out with him, bro. I hate going out with him. Especially now that I know like how to defend myself and shit. I've been in situations where he gets into a fight and I'm just like,
damn,
I'm not fighting your battles.
No, facts.
If you're gonna fight someone, if you're gonna fight someone one-on-one, cool, do your thing. Now, if people start jumping in, yeah, I'm not gonna let you get your ass whooped.
Yeah,
but I'm not.
Especially when they call for it, Nick. Like when they start chirping at the other, and you're like, bro, hey, listen, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
let's just relax.
That's why it's cool with the guys that I chill here in Vegas. They all got the fucked up ears and the noses and the scars and shit. It's like, no one fucks with them. It's like, nice,
perfect,
nice. Yeah. Who just went? Did I just go or did you go? Yeah, because I said drivers are not athletes. Let's do two more each.
Okay. Okay. I want to start a fight with this next take. MLB wildcard game is a joke.
Ooh, okay.
How in the world can you play 162 games, tag on 40 more for spring training and preseason bullshit, and we're going to duke it out in a one-game winner takes all to go to the playoffs? It's crooked. It's bullshit. You have all these teams that, you know, steadily make the wild card and then get bounced, and they're just like known as like those teams that are never going to make it across the hump. Like, give these fans a series to watch an entire like what playoff intensity brings in baseball. The fact that you only get one game of it, it sucks. They're changing everything about baseball. Why not add this to the list? I actually wanted to propose it's a 3-game series that starts at 8 a.m. and it finishes whenever the fuck it finishes. I think that would be pretty cool. You win a doubleheader, you win the first 2, we don't have to go to game 3. We go to game 3, we've been playing baseball now for 14 hours. Fans are groggy, it's just, but the electricity at the end of that would be amazing. A walk-off homer in game 3 of a wild card all-dayer.
11-hour day.
I'm just trying to create good television here because what they're doing, it is good television, but
you had me until
criminal.
You had me until that.
Because that sounds cool.
The all day affair. Like, I like the idea of doing best of 5. Best of 5. The other teams, hey, congratulations. You're not on the wild card, you get some rest. You get a week off.
Yep.
Cool. You get a week off. Let these teams duke it out. One game, I agree with you. Like, what happens if my ace just goes out there and like has one bad outing? Right? Yeah. For the longest time, I remember defending Clayton Kershaw because I'd be like, yo, he was a great pitcher. He just had like 3 bad innings in his playoff career where he got shelled. And then it's like, oh, he sucks in the playoffs. It's like, really? It was like 3 times where he gave up like 3 runs in an inning. And then it's like, that's the perception of that guy. This is like during the Clayton Kershaw fucking
trust me, I remember, bro.
Yeah. I like that one, man. I like that one. I have one for football. Can I tell you one for football?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Start a fight with this one take. Football is only cool and popular because of betting.
Ooh.
I love football. My love for football has given me everything that I have right now. But it's a 14-minute game, snap to whistle. If you take all of that, snap to whistle.
Okay.
The entire game is 4 quarters of 15 minutes. It's a 14-minute game on average.
That's a crazy perspective.
There is way more stoppages, but it's they're adjusting the blitz and they're picking up cues and tendencies. And then you have the stories that the Chris Collinsworth tells you about the right tackle whose dad left him and then he found him again and he had this resurrection and all this shit and like the storytelling behind it. The game of football blows. Like, bro,
wild statement.
But listen, it's only cool because of the betting and the fantasy. And if you want to throw in the urgency of it being once a week, that is 100% why the game is so popular. It is the most heavily wagered sporting event week after week, year after year, and it's the hardest thing to handicap. But people think, hey, it's either they're going to cover the 7.5 or they're not going to cover the 7.5. And everyone thinks because football's so popular that they know it. It's the hardest sport to handicap. And I think football is only cool because of the betting and the fantasy and then the one game a week. And I love football, bro. I love football. It's my favorite thing to watch on TV. But like, go to games in person. Go to games in person. And you know what? I'll give you one better. Go to a game with someone that's not a football fan. Don't go with me.
Right.
Because we're going to like it anyway. Take like one of your cousins that knows nothing about football. Like I took a family member from Greece to a football game, and they're like, this is the shit that y'all put 80,000 people in every year. And this is what gets 200 million eyes on the big game. Like, this is fucking whack. Mind you, European, Greek dude, I get it. But like,
I get it.
There's a lot of standing around.
Yeah. Your point makes perfect sense. You're saying football as a whole. Football in the UFL is, bro, this is what makes your point. Except there's no real like hardcore bettors that follow the UFL or the Canadian Football League, at least here in the States.
And I've been on record many times, whether it's on this show or on social media. When I first moved to Vegas and they relaunched the XFL and the UFL and all that, I came to the conclusion, I don't love football. I love NFL football.
Yes.
I don't do college. I don't do high school football. I don't do fucking UFL, PFL, XFL. I don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm WWE only. I don't do indies. I don't do AEW, right? Staying with the wrestling theme. I need the main event. I'm a main event guy.
Agreed.
So to me, the popularity of the NFL and all these TV deals and shit, it's like, bro, there's billions of dollars being wagered every week. Let's not be crazy. This is why football is so popular.
Yeah. Yeah. I would like to think, just coming at it from the person that would fight you on it, I think it makes for some of the coolest sports highlights. I think seeing a one-handed catch, toe drag, sick. I think seeing a huge hit is a big portion of it. But going back to your point, in a 60-minute game, they're only playing for 14 minutes of it.
Okay, you're talking about the glory here, right? You're talking about the highlights,
Correct.
Which I've also said. We had a segment on the show where I said, yo, baseball highlights are popping, bro.
Correct.
The throwing the ball behind your back as a shortstop to the second baseman and, robbing a home run. Like, baseball highlights are dope. How many times have you watched a primetime game in your life where the two quarterbacks are hurt? And you get Cooper Rush against fucking Colt Brennan. And you're like, bro, I thought I was going to get Romo and Breeze. And now you watch XFL football. It's unwatchable.
Yeah.
But you're watching it because it's Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, we're just getting ready. We're taking mental reps, and it's because of the betting. I got to marinate on that one. That one, you said a statement in there that the clip has to start on football sucks.
Yeah.
That's got to be the start of that clip right there.
Yeah, we got to make that happen. All right, let's do one more each.
Okay. Ooh, man.
Do you have another sports one? Because my last one is like more like social media and...
I have another sports one. Okay. In sports, the next man up philosophy is a myth.
Yes.
Is a myth.
Yes. Yeah.
If your superstar is gone and your coach or somebody in the organization says next man up, or the players that aren't injured say, it's just the next man up philosophy, you're cooked.
You're done.
It's over.
It's a wrap.
There's not a next man up. Yeah. If the next man was good enough, he would have been up.
He would have been up, yo. Yeah.
I don't get it.
100%.
I don't get it.
100%.
That's
it's like, hey man, next man up. Our $40 million wide receiver is out. This guy's on the practice squad. We're not getting the same fucking production for a reason. There ain't no next man up. I have nothing more to say. I couldn't agree with you more. Next man up. It's fucking lame. It's stupid.
It was created to make backups feel good.
Yeah.
and hopeful. And by the way, I was taught this from my father, who was a football coach. You know, the number one thing you always tell your backup quarterback? I've never gone through an entire football season without the backup quarterback being in the game. That's the next man up philosophy. It's a myth. It's trash. You have to make that statement up. Mind you, the starter may play the entire fucking year, but you got to tell that to the backup so that the backup doesn't start, fucking picking up a tennis racket and start swinging that.
Yeah. You know what it also reminds me of? When you hear teams like the Warriors during their run, they'd be like, Draymond Green is the heart and soul of this team. It's like, oh, it's Curry. But I get it. We want to make other people feel important. And look, he was a big contributor. He's part of the big three. I get it. But it would always be funny, like the heart and soul of this team. It's fucking Matthew Dellavedova. You're like, it's LeBron.
Relax.
Yeah.
No, it's just great PR teams out there, doing the Lord's work, making backups cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What's yours? Hit me with your
last one. One of my favorite, as someone that indulges on dating apps every now and then, whenever I get bored, start a fight with this one take. Traveling is not a personality trait.
Ooh.
When I ask you about tell me something about yourself, you can't tell me traveling. That's not a personality trait. It's not like...
It could be put on the dating app. So you're referring to it because I feel like I've seen it, right? They could put
something about me traveling. You're fucking lame.
Traveling where?
Yeah, like what do we?
By the way, you're gonna tell me where you traveled to. You're gonna tell me about it. You're gonna be having a great time telling me about it, and I could not care less because I wasn't there with you. But I'll listen to you because I'm a good listener. But I don't give a fuck. But it's, there's cool things. You better tell me cool things. You better not just tell me, oh, I went snorkeling and I saw a fish. Tell me about a fucking stripper doing cocaine off another stripper's ass or something. Something wild. Then you got my attention. Then, by the way, if you're a cool traveler, you can add it. Like the Wonton Don from Barstool. Cool traveling, in my opinion. He could add traveling to his personality trait.
Yeah, I just don't think it's something that I would lead with when I try to get to know someone.
Yeah.
It's like traveling is not like...
Especially, and here's the thing where I feel a lot of people might put it. They might put that because they want to travel. Don't say traveling is a part of your personality trait if you've never traveled.
Oh, that's another big one too. It's like, this year I want to... Let me guess. Travel.
Wild. You want to leave? Yeah. Leave the home.
Best way to ask me out is by just asking. Fucking weirdos. Stay single then. That's what we got to deal with.
Oh my God.
You're out the game though, so you don't gotta. You're chilling.
No, Nick. It seems like
these are the problems.
It seems like an impossible task these days. Like I would not know what to do. I would I would rely on like speed dating or something.
Bro, I was talking to...
Have you ever done one of those?
Speed dating?
Yeah.
Nah, I got invited to do the balloon pop thing. Yeah.
I'm sure every great marriage starts with a balloon pop.
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to.
Lack of one.
I'd be too ruthless on something like that. Because my real self would come out. And it would be bad. I wouldn't be... Because I'm a piece of shit. And it would get pretty hostile.
I mean, I've only seen a couple of those shows. How quick do they cycle through? Like, so you get a lineup of guys, right? The girl comes in, they start saying things, and then when the guy feels like she's not the one, right, they pop the balloon.
Yeah, and sometimes it's instant too.
Right.
Like they'll pop it like right away kind of thing.
Right. The girl walks out, and you're just like, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Boom. Yeah.
And then you'll hear other ones where like the guy is like, fucking neuroscientist. But like, he had capris on or some shit. And they're like, oh, well, I didn't like your outfit. Oh, but I make $2 million a year. Fact. And then they feel like assholes after. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I would like to be on one of those shows too.
I've never done a speed dating. I've been set up to go on a blind date before, but it was through like mutual friends. That I'm cool with. especially if someone like knows me. I've always felt like the way I'm gonna end up being with someone legit, if I don't meet them out like in public kind of thing, it would be through like
a friend.
You and the missus are like, dude, fucking Susie, she's great for you.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, okay, cool. I trust George. I know Cameron. Why not? At least you have something to connect over.
Correct.
But yeah, besides that, yeah.
This was good.
It's rough out here. Yeah, let us know what. Actually, they did let me know. Let me pull up the Discord real quick, and I'll read you a couple before we get into some NBA. One of them is start a fight with this one take. If your GOAT list doesn't start with Tom Brady, it's not a GOAT list. Kind of seems fair.
All right.
College. This one's from Messina 235. College athletes getting paid should not be allowed to have a scholarship if you're making well over your tuition.
Tripping. That is a hot take.
I kind of like this, bro.
Correct.
If your NIL deal is $5 million a year,
yeah,
I'm cool with not giving you a scholarship.
Agreed. But then at that point, then the kids should also have the right to not go to school. You know what I mean? Like, don't force them to now fucking pay for this. They don't care. They really don't care. But all right. That's a good one.
That is a good one. Another one is, this one's from No Show Thomas. A night in is better than a night out.
Yeah. No, I'm game with that one. I could fight that one on both sides if I wanted to.
I'm down with going out if it's an occasion. Like the days of me going out because, I got to do something. It's Friday night.
The FOMO, like the feeling you would get when you're like 21, 22, like, oh my gosh, all the people are out. I'm seeing the Instagram stories. You see the Snapchat stories. I got to be there. That's over.
It's done, bro.
It's over. Let's binge, $1 million secret.
Yeah, listen, and look, it happens. We're all washed in one way or another. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. It is what it is. Okay. Let's talk some NBA, bro.
Yes.
Have you been watching the playoffs?
Yeah, bro. I mean, we got off to an electric start. The fact that the NBA playoffs were on 420 was absolutely electric. That was fun. It was a great weekend for sports. So yes, I did catch what I think is the best series going on right now, the Nuggets Clippers. I got to watch it at Topgolf. That was fun. Do you want to start with that one?
Sure, yeah.
We can go down the West. Nick, I've never seen a team, or I'll propose it like this. Okay. Do you think it's a good idea to aggravate the star player of the other team? Or do you think it's best to just let them cook, but not like give them the motivation they need to destroy you? Because what I think the Clippers did in game one is they showed we are going to throw everything we can at Jokic. We're going to hit him in the back. We're going to yank him down. He ended up with a fucking bloody nose, right? But that woke him up. Like Jokic was angry, obviously, going into the game because people are saying he's not going to win MVP. But now you're like getting physical with him. You're getting in his head. Do you think that's good or bad to do with the star player of the other team?
It's a great question. In my life, my friend Dennis Strawsacker, shout out to Dennis, is the only person I've ever met that when he got pissed off became a fucking savage. Like, there was no getting in his head. It was like the other team, he played baseball with him, played football, no matter what sport, it was like, don't piss him off. You're done. There's other people, it's like, you piss them off, they're fragile, you won the game already, right?
Correct.
And then there's people like Michael Jordan. I remember, George Carl before the finals didn't come say hi to me. And like, bro, we went to UNC together. What the fuck? Dean Smith was our guy. You're not going to come shake my hand? All right, bet. Watch what happens. Murder. you know,
they look for the little things.
They look for the little things. Now, I think it's all dependent on the flow of the star.
Mm-hmm.
It depends. And then it also depends, like, how personal are you getting, right? Like, Khabib was able to withstand everything until you brought up his Muslim faith and his religion, with Conor, that is. Correct. And it's like, oh, he fucking lost it. But he was able to tame it still to be like, yo, let's talk now, bro. Now you want to talk about that shit. Let's talk now, brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it all depends. My thing was, this game is still going on at the time that we're recording.
Mm-hmm.
I did bet the Clippers to win the finals at 35-1. I posted about it. Do you think some teams are just cursed? That's what I wanted to ask you with this one, because the Clippers, especially like our generation, the Clippers were actually good, right? Mm-hmm. They had Blake Griffin, Lob City. Then, you know, they got Paul George, they got Kawhi. Like, they've had good players.
Correct.
Or like, if you talk to some, I've made some friends from California that are Clippers fans, are like, bro, for the longest time, it was a fucking nightmare, right? Do you think some teams are cursed because they blew a double-digit lead in the second half in game one? And it goes into the topic that we had a couple months ago, where it was like, yo, do you ever watch a game one of a series and you're like, it's over, bro? Because I kind of felt like, I felt that way about the Clippers. Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, this is in the third quarter. It's 68-66 at the time of recording.
Correct.
Maybe they tie the series. I felt that way with the Pistons. The way the Pistons blew game one against the Knicks, they're up.
Yeah.
And they go on a 21-0 run, inexperienced young team. I'm like, oh, bro, they're getting swept. And guess what? They beat the Knicks. Now it's 1-1 going back to Detroit.
Right.
There was not a more heavily wagered underdog to win the series than the Pistons. Now it's 1-1 going back to Detroit. And you know Detroit's going to be fucking crazy.
Yeah.
They haven't had a playoff game in God knows how long. And their team is actually good. Like, they were a top 6 seed. They didn't have to do a play-in game to get in. So I know I hit you with a lot of information there.
No, but I'm following.
How do you feel about that?
I don't think that was a performance that made me think they have lost the series. I think this. So my take from this game, truthfully, is the winner of this series is winning the West. The level of basketball that you're seeing in this series is crazy. The defense is physical. They don't miss a rotation. All their role players hit the key threes that they're supposed to. I think this is a series filled with stars. And when I look at all the other teams that are in the West, when I like try to fantasy book, okay, what I think these teams will do to Minnesota if Minnesota advances, I think either one of these teams cleans the floor with them just based on star power and experience. And then if I look at the rest of the West, there's just nobody in the West that compares. So I think that the winner of this series will win the West. I'm confident in the Nuggets. And I think they will extend this all the way to 7. But I think the Clippers are the better team in this matchup. So when you say, are they cursed, to go back to your first answer, or your first question, no. I think the curse ran with Doc. And if that's the case, look what's happening to the Bucks.
Yeah.
That's the Clippers curse in my head. I think this is a new turn, bro. They're the new logo, Steve Ballmer, new arena. This is like the Commanders.
Starting fresh. Yeah.
They wiped the slate clean.
That's a good one.
That's the way I felt about it.
Yeah. No, that's a good take. And I like that comp with the Clippers and the Commanders, because it makes a lot of sense, because the Commanders had a lot of stink to them too. And that's like, yo, new owner, new coach, new star.
Right.
Let's go in with this.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get a new building.
Correct.
No Laker banners when the Clippers are playing. Yeah, this one was, and this is a rule of thumb that I have when it comes to betting in the playoffs. I'm 4 for 5 on player props, and my bad, I haven't posted any of them, but just like individually betting. This is a basic rule that I have, and it's happened in both instances. Star players that go under their point total in a game, I like taking over the next game. Star players that go over their point total, I like passing the next game.
Right.
Role players, Tobias Harris goes for 22 in the first half in game 1. I take the under in the next game. Cameron Payne, take the under. The numbers get inflated where you had a 6.5. Now you have a 9.5. It's like, whoa, slow down.
Right.
And then what happens with the stars is Cade Cunningham, for example, 25.5 in game 1, 23.5 in game 2. He ends up dropping 33. So it's one of those like general betting sort of, I like to call it like situational spots where I'm kind of always going to bet it, down 2-0, going home for game 3, first half.
Yep.
The stars, when they go under, I like going over the next game.
It's a good move. And so, okay, I'll hit you with this scenario then. If the star goes over and he was expected to hit a high total, do you kind of just take a step back?
I don't play at the next game. So like Luka, for example, right? He went over his point total in game 1. Mm-hmm. He had 37. His point total was 30.5. I'm not gonna play him over or under. I'm just gonna let it be.
Until you get a significant tell in the series, whether it's an underperforming night or in your situation, maybe it's an overperforming night. Like he goes for 50 or 60, right? Then the line gets inflated for that next game. So I think that's a very good point.
Can I tell you about the Lakers and Timberwolves series?
Tell me what you think about this one, because I have a funny from this one.
Okay. I used to call it the Jamal Murray experiment, where this was right before he got hurt. Mm-hmm. When I would do the show with my buddy Impy, shouts to Impy. He was a guy, I called it the Jamal Murray experiment, because like on one night you'd watch him and you'd be like, bro, he's a top 3 point guard in the league. And then on the other night, you're like, holy shit, someone's going to give him a super max. It's going to fuck the whole team up. And I say all that because Naz Reid and McDaniels went crazy in game 1. If those guys could do that every night, no one's beating Minnesota. Because I think playoff Anthony Edwards is a real thing too.
Yep.
DiVincenzo was like, yo, Austin Reeves, you kept me off the top white guys in the NBA list. All right, I bet here's a half-court fucking mug shot. Bang.
Yeah.
And the Lakers just looked slow and old. And even though Luka's 25, 26, and I think Anthony Edwards is one of those guys where, you know who he reminds me of? And I don't know if you watched it too much, but like Carmelo Anthony, when he played with the Knicks, always felt like he was as good as Durant and LeBron and Kobe whenever he would go up against them. Mm-hmm. Like defense is an effort thing. Like if you want to play defense, you'll play defense. And there'd be times where he'd guard LeBron up and down the court, and you're like, why isn't this every night? It was like, well, I'm not doing that against the Hawks.
Right.
I'm doing it because like, oh, this is your king. This is who's the measuring stick. I'm going to show you that I could do it too. And I think Anthony Edwards is like, Luka, SGA, Ja, bet. All right. Don't forget. The start of that Netflix documentary on the USA team where he's talking to President Obama.
Yeah.
He's like, these guys don't fucking know. Like, it's me. I'm taking the last shot. Like his swag and his aura, and the team feeds off it.
Yep.
He's yelling at the fan like, Rudy sucks, right? He's making $200 million. And they feed off that. It's the same thing with Joe Burrow and with the Bengals. Like they feed off that Joe Cool, that Joe swag, the charisma. And I think Anthony Edwards, like cross-sport comparison, Edwards and Burrow, I think are the same exact guy. When Burrow plays against the Mahomes, he's like, not against me, he's not.
Right.
He's the GOAT. He's the best right now, but not against me. I beat him.
Right.
I'm not afraid of Arrowhead. It's Burrowhead. So that's why when I was looking at Anthony Edwards in that game, that's kind of the vibe that I was getting.
Bro, this game fits the mold of watching a team in game 1 and being like, oh, the series is over.
Yeah.
Like, they are going to make it interesting. I will say, like, I do envision, the Luka LeBron combo going for 70. And if the bench just puts up a marginally good game, they will compete and maybe take a game to overtime, maybe steal one. Who knows? How do you feel about plus minus in basketball? Do you feel it's a good indication of good or bad?
Remember earlier in the show, we did start a fight with this one take?
Yeah.
Worst statistic in sports.
I love this.
Plus minus. Because I need to know who are you on the floor with?
Correct.
What if you're plus 30, but it's because you're on the court when they got their backups in, or you're on the court when the other team is down 20 and they have their backups in. Like, I need to know who you're playing with.
Yeah.
Like that, I think that's one of the most misleading stats in all of sports.
It is. For example, here, Bronny James, Dalton Connect, Alex Len, and Shake Milton led the Lakers in plus minus last game with 1. It's funny.
Yeah.
It can't happen if you want to win a playoff game, but Bronny James outperformed his father in game 1. Should have been the headline. Plus minus, he was the only positive player.
Plus minus and defensive holding being a automatic first down are my 2 least favorite stats, penalties, punishments in all of sports.
You should add that to your dating profile. Just be like, hey, if we ever go on a date, don't ever bring up defensive holding, and don't you ever bring up plus minus being a notable stat.
Bro, it's so stupid, man. It's so stupid. It's the same like in hockey they have plus minus also. It's like, well, are you going up against the 4th line, which is all enforcers? And I have fucking Crosby and Prime Malkin on my line? Like, yeah, my plus minus is gonna be better. I just think it's very misleading, and it doesn't do justice to when you're watching the game because, like you said, those guys had a big plus minus, but look who you mentioned. They were in when the game was over.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, yeah, your plus minus is cool. Now tell me, yo, look, I had a plus 23. And on the floor was Nas Reed and Ant-Man and Rudy and DiVincenzo. And that's who I was against. Cool. But on the surface, like, that's where the conversation of like, yo, are you watching comes into play.
Correct.
But it's like, yo, I watched and, he played 48 minutes. He played the whole game.
Yeah.
Then you're like, all right, cool. That's different. But I need to know, like, did so-and-so get into foul trouble and he's not guarding you now? And that's why you're plus. Like, it's a very misleading. It's my least favorite.
The Lakers are fucked. They have no bench, and I don't think LeBron gets swept. He goes out winning at least one. But it's ugly in LA. I don't see, if even a year down the road this fixes the inevitable problem that this team has on a road to winning a Western Conference championship.
Yeah, I'll tell you this much. I like the Lakers in game 2 on the money line. I like the Rockets in game 2. It's desperate times for desperate measures.
Right.
You have to win these games. And the reason why I highlighted them 2 in particular, they're the home team. You can't go 0-2 back to Minnesota or to Golden State. It's over. You're going to get swept. So, quick little bet for if you guys listen in time. If you take the Rockets and the Warriors on the money line, the Rockets and the Lakers on the money line, you get plus 140. No spread, nothing. Like, they have to win this or else they're not in the series. And
that's a good bet.
That's what I like. Look, there's a couple series that you don't even need to spend time on, right? Like, for example, Boston is minus 10,000 to win the series.
The only thing I have to say with that is I did say they will need a wake-up call. Going into halftime down 1, I hope that that's all it gets to. Now they're on the fucking path. Derek White can put up 30 any given night. You're going to win. So move on to the next one because they're for sure winning. The other non-talk aboutable one, Memphis Thunder. That one's GG's.
Yeah.
It's a shit situation, too, for Memphis having to play 2 pretty meaningful games and wearing themselves out. This would have been the same result, though.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
are you confident in your Thunder Celtics? I know you have a couple of different futures, but like after watching the way the Thunder played,
I think the Thunder are a victim of not being popular, and they're gonna. Can I give you a nice comp? So you know who Ilya Taporia is?
Yes.
Okay. So
this was on Rogan.
Yeah. Ilya Taporia just relinquished the 145 featherweight title in the UFC, and he's moving up to 155. And he knocked out Alexander Volkanovski, and then he knocked out Max Holloway. And I kept telling my friends, I'm like, yo, y'all don't like him because he's knocking out all your favorites. But no one can touch him. This was like 6 fights ago. I remember he fought Bryce Mitchell and he was minus 160. And I was like, it's the biggest UFC bet I've ever made. Pull up like 480 to win 300. I was like, he steamrolled him.
Right.
So I say all that because like the Thunder are just not as popular as Minnesota, who went to the conference finals last year, as Dallas. Even though they have a SGA, he's not American. He's Canadian. So you have that dynamic of like, you don't have an American star. They're so good and they're so deep with their roster that they might just steamroll through the West. And then we'll look back and be like, bro, this is one of the best teams of all time. But it's just that they're so young and new.
Right.
It's a weird thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
But this could be the start of how we felt about Golden State in 2014. You didn't think this of Golden State in 2014.
Right.
Like, who knows if Jalen Williams don't end up signing a Supermax. And then him and SGA are the new Splash Brothers in OKC. You don't know. This team is so young. So I say all that because, like, Taporia was that guy. It's just that he wasn't as popular as he is now. And now everyone's like,
that's a great comp.
Oh, bro, of course, Taporia. It's like, well, no, think of it at the time. So you don't know if you're catching on to the Thunder being legit. Now, are they 50 points better? No. It's the 5th biggest blowout in playoff history. But I'm just saying the concept of it is like, yo, we might be looking at a new dynasty. There's a reason why they're the favorites coming out the West.
Yeah.
They had the most double-digit wins in NBA history. And it's just that they're not, they're not a Lakers. They're not a Knicks. They're not a Celtics. It's your like mid-major.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they're not a juggernaut from a big market. That's why. And I think that they're, after one game, like, dude, they did that and SGA had 15 points.
Yeah.
He was dropping 30 every night.
It's just, yeah. I think Memphis is just playing terrible basketball. Like, they're a piss poor roster that's centered around Ja getting to do whatever he wants. You see the shit too. I forgot when, this is a side note, but in the play-in game on, when was it, Friday night or Thursday night? Like Ja, they were up big and Ja didn't come out of the game until like a minute 15 left. And he was jawing at the coach. Literally. But it's like, there's no control in Memphis right now. He could do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
So, all right. That's that series.
And I mean, bro, this is really it, right? Like, look, just to use betting for everyone to understand. Do you know how much money you would need to throw on the Celtics right now to win $100 on the series?
10K.
10K. Wow, good call. Look at you go. How about the Thunder to win $100?
8K.
20. And then on the Cavs, you'd have to risk $8,000 to win $100.
That's nuts.
To win $100 and you parlay all three, you need to put up $3,600. So it goes to show you that,
yeah,
there's not much to discuss.
No.
All these teams don't have enough firepower with who they're going up against. I like a lot of their rosters, but
we'll see next
I think the Magic need a point guard that could facilitate a little bit more and get his.
Mm-hmm.
Like a prime Westbrook would be perfect for them. But that's what they need there. I think Memphis is just a shit show across the board. They're going to have to make a lot of decisions. And then the other one is Miami. Like, Tyler Hero's cool, but like, who else besides him?
Yeah.
And Bam's not creating.
No.
Nowadays, you need 2 guys that could create their own shot.
For sure.
Minimum. So that's why those teams are just a little
cooked.
messed up. Yeah.
Last one, Pacers Bucks.
Man, the Pacers have so many ways they could beat you.
Aren't they way better than what you thought?
Yeah, look, I
You
saw
thought
them
this
beat
was probably going to be a series based on our first conversation, kind of previewing it. We're like,
well, I think
you thought Dame was going to be,
and Dame is expected to play in game 2 or at least return at some point. But I just think that they're gonna, the way the Pacers are gonna keep approaching it is like, yo, Giannis, do your thing, and
just like everybody.
Green, you gotta try to beat us with a couple threes.
Do they not have like good shooting coaches in Greece? I mean, I know you're a Greece native, but you've only visited twice.
Yeah, I could not answer that, bro. I just found the jiu-jitsu gym I'll be going to when I go to Greece. There's not many options, is what I'm trying to say.
No, I'm just trying to think like Giannis was able to learn how to dunk and slash better than everybody, which goes to show like video games are correct. When you create a player, he can't be everything.
Yeah.
You could be really good at one thing, but it's the same. Like I haven't seen an evolution in his game, and it's been 4 years.
Well, that was the thing. James Harden, when him and Harden were going at it for MVPs, he'd be like, not all of us could take 3 dribbles full court and dunk. Like some of us have to elevate our game. It's like, listen, that's what makes him unique and what makes him perfect for his style of basketball.
For sure.
But that's the same way with everyone. Like, not every quarterback could throw the ball 90 yards.
True.
Everyone got their own thing that makes them great.
Yeah.
And I think to answer your question about the Pacers, I just think they have so many ways that they could beat you. And also, if you think about this, they kind of took the growing pains from last year going to a conference finals. So, like, Nembhard, it's not a big moment for him.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, this is nothing. Like, I did this last year. I went to the Garden, right? I played Boston. It's not a big deal to them now. So that's why it's the growing pains. That's why the Thunder were such a trendy pick this year to win the title. Because, like, last year they lost to the Mavs. And they saw that, like, Jalen Williams, you can't go ghost. Can't just be SGA.
Right.
We need you to be a constant contributor every game. It's like, the NBA playoffs are really simple, right? That's why the Knicks won game 1, because it's like, it's the Cameron Payne game. Like, he was a guy you didn't expect him to have a moment, and he had a moment. You need your top guys to deliver every night, and then if you get the McDaniels on Minnesota, Naz Reid is a way more, a Derek White.
Yeah.
If he's giving you 30, you're like, bro, it's over, dude.
Yeah.
It's a wrap. So, let's see we'll go watch the end of this Nuggets and Clippers game. Thank you all for listening to another episode of Veterans Minimum. Make sure you rate, review, subscribe, keep supporting the show. We'll be back later this week with another episode. Just been pretty busy the last couple weeks, and we didn't have time to record last 2 weeks on extra episodes, so we'll be back with some stuff. Got a fun guest coming on the show next week, and I think over the next 6 Monday shows, we'll be having a guest on every week, so I'm excited to talk to some people. And like, before you know it, man, the draft is this week. We got the draft coming up.
I'm going to the party.
And then, like I said, before you know it, like, football's right around the corner. So, thank you for continuing to support the show. All things Veterans Minimum are at Veterans Minimum. George, what you working on? What you doing?
El Grande Americano is the greatest WWE wrestler ever created. That's it. That's all I have. I'm not even promoting myself. El Grande Americano from the Gulf of America. I didn't know he existed until this weekend. And I forgot to say it during the show, so I'll end it with the show.
And what's crazy? He didn't exist until like 3 weeks ago either.
Perfect.
So
he's my favorite. Yeah. That's it. That's it. Peace.
Peace. Grande America.
Bro, I was like, this
element. I'm a gold medalist, bronze like your medal is. So many deer in headlights, but it's bedtime. Hear that supper bell, main course, be the venison.
Dab. Most dangerous game. Either kill or be killed.